Hello, and welcome to Rose and Carter Do the JOB on a Wednesday, show day today on a Wednesday. And my pick this week, I've chosen the International Wrestling Association. There were several, but this one is like mid-70s, 75 to 78 they ran.
Was it 75? I thought it was 74, wasn't it? Or was it 75?
Yeah, I thought it was 74, but then I read 75 on the old wiki, so I'm just going with what the wiki says.
All right.
Primarily, it was from like the southern states, like like Carolinas and Ohio and that direction, like mid-Atlantic area, really. But I first saw it. I had tapes when I was a kid, and it's just called like International Wrestling or American Wrestling or something. Very sort of.
I think I had one tape years ago.
Show 1, show 2, that kind of thing. And I've got there's 7 with show numbers I've got, but the 7th one is Florida. But 1 to 6 is this, and it's like the first time. Like to me as a kid, it was just like old wrestling, which was still cool for me. But it was the first time I saw like Mil Mascaras and the Mongols and fucking that kind of stuff. It was I've always liked watching different people. And it's something I've kind of been hooked on a little bit since. There's not a great deal on the YouTube, full episodes, but there's like quite a lot of packaging, like 2-hour blocks, isn't there? And individual matches. And the ones we watched were from the Jarrett Parsons fucking Fire Stick TV channel. But yeah, 75 to 78. Eddie Einhorn was the promoter, headquarters in Ohio. And it was intended to be the first national promotion. Like when you think about it, 75 is nigh on 10 years before any of that fucking national WWF Vince McMahon taking over the world thing. So I bet people thought, what a bunch of fucking idiots. This is never going to work. You know what I mean? Contracts were their thing. I mean, now everyone's got a contract. Fucking Tin Pot indie promotions have contracts, don't they now? But then unheard of. The TV, like thinking back now, it's so dated but so revolutionary at the same time. Like things like the action replays, after moves and stuff. Back then, they didn't have the facilities to do it. But adding that to TV, it made it all so fresh. It kind of ended. In part, I suppose, because of money, because the contracts that they dished out was just, unfathomable. And Crockett's had some kind of, legal battle with them, preventing them from going into larger venues that they ran, which kind of fucked their market, because I suppose at the time there wasn't an arena on every corner like there is in most big cities over there now. But yeah, 78 it closed. Champions wise, there was 4 champions. Mil Mascaras was the international champion primarily, but Johnny Powers does claim he's had 3 IWA championships, one of which he defended against Bulldog Brower in Nigeria in 1982. So kept it going afterwards. The Mongols were the tag team champions, but they left for Crockett's in 76. So the last 2 years they didn't have tag champions. North American champions, Ox Baker and Bulldog Brower, and there was a women's North American champion as well, which is only held by one person, Estelle Molina. Not somebody I'm aware of, but when you think back of, we said before we started recording, didn't we? It is like a who's who of wrestling of that era, and I said to you earlier, I really like the fact that there was regional wrestling, but this really was international, even though I totally get it's bullshit international, but you did think it was something special because there was Mighty Igor from wherever, Poland, Koloff from Russia, Argentina Apollo from Argentina, so many, Mil Mascaras from Mexico. It was that real international feel to it. It felt big time, didn't it?
Yeah.
And, to me though, watching this, I watched quite a bit of it this afternoon, not just this episode. I watched few bit others as well. To me, I thought, like people say, when Vince McMahon took over the Georgia TV and they shit all over the Georgia TV, right? Because it was Vince McMahon's stuff. And where's our fucking wrestling? And I've always been a wrestling fan, even more so than the WWF, much as I love it. But this is like northern wrestling in southern towns, isn't it? It's got that it's very gimmicky.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I was going to say as well. Like, because I haven't watched a lot of this, so I wasn't too sure, like, what to expect. I've seen bits here and there. I've never really studied it and stuff, but like I was going to say, the things that stuck out for me as well was like there's two things, and I was going to say, like, I'd like to see a lot more of it, and it could potentially be like one of my favorite fucking territories, like of all of them, because and I only watched like fucking half an hour, but the thing is, like, there's two things that stick out, and for one of them was every match was more or less a squash match, but it didn't feel like they didn't matter. Like, it felt like there were stories involved. It felt like the crowd was still into them. And there was a couple of the matches, there was something else going off. So it was like they were building to stuff or things like that. That was like the one thing. And like the second thing, like you just said, was like it was gimmicks. Like everyone had a fucking gimmick. Even just like in every match, like back then, years later, everyone would say that Vince fucking gave everyone a fucking gimmick. But 10 years before, fucking, they all got gimmicks here.
The style was slightly sort of more northern than your southern wrestling. The gimmicks were, a very northern thing. I mean, I don't know for the time period because, it's not my, this isn't my deep wrestling fan time period. But like, the NWA had, it's cowboys and it's masked men and blah, blah, blah. That still had gimmicks. But underneath the cowboy hat was a man that could do some wrestling. And underneath the mask was a man that could do some wrestling. Where here, Eric the Red was Eric the fucking Red. And you believed he was Eric the Red. Do you know what I mean? He was this Nordic fucking, Viking kind of thing. And you get drawn into it, like proper gimmicky. Whereas the NWA's gimmicks were like, all right, he's a fucking cowboy on his day off, where here he's a wrestler. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I got proper drawn into it today. You say about them being a squashes, and they were primarily, but I watched like a 2-hour block on YouTube today with some proper main events on. Like, Mighty Igor and Bulldog Bravo was one, and Igor and Gino Brito against the Love Brothers in a tag. Proper big, like, main event kind of, TV matches still, but main event stuff. I'll send you that. Cracking. Really good. So we watched 2 episodes from the Jared Parsons. I think they've got a channel on like Fire Stick and Roku and all that fucking thing. I don't understand, but you watched 3 and I'll watch 4. So do you want to do your 3?
Yeah. On mine, it said it was actually from 1974. That's what made me question it. Yeah, but
Ricky's never fucking solid, is it?
No. But so it starts with Bill Eadie and someone else. I don't know who the other guy is.
Adam Parsons, who's I think he's like the son of the guy that runs the channel.
Right, okay. Yeah, he seemed quite knowledgeable of
Rob Parsons, I believe, is the dad.
But yeah, so it was cool to see Bill Eadie do that because I fucking love Bill Eadie, and like he comes across as like one of the nicest guys ever in wrestling, like ever. Fucking, I don't really hear him fucking like shit on anyone and like, you know what I mean, stuff like that. He just never has a bad thing to say about anyone. I could listen to him talk all fucking day long. To be fair, he's that clever. But anyway, yeah. So so they're like doing the hosting, and they go into match 1 fairly early on, and it's Ivan Koloff against someone. I didn't catch the last name. Don.
Right.
maybe Don Lunkin or something like
that. Okay.
that. But I don't know who it was. But anyway, so it starts off with Don going to shake his hand. Ivan like refuses to shake the hand. Don turns his back to Ivan. I'm thinking Ivan's gonna jump him, which he does attempt, but it's quite a nice little start because that's quite an easy fucking way to go into a jump start, but he actually avoids the jump. So you like, you know what I mean? So Ivan goes for him. Like everyone's expecting him to just fucking bosh, but he literally like sidesteps him and just kind of avoids the jump altogether, which was quite unsuspecting to be fair. So yeah, then they just go back to fucking, face to face kind of thing. They finally tie up. Top wrist lock by Don. Ivan throws him to the floor by his hair though. Tie up again, and Ivan's in control and just battering the fuck out of him now. Don tries to fight back a few times, but ain't having any of it. A big backdrop by Ivan, and he's just giving him fucking loads of heat. Like I was saying earlier, they're generally squash matches. He is beating the shit out of him. But the fucking fans as well, like Ivan is so hated. Like he's a fucking real heel. Like always was, weren't he? Like I don't know how many people's in the crowd, but it sounds like thousands and thousands and thousands. That's how that's how loud they are.
I read results and stuff, and they were drawing like big crowds, like
Well,
8, 10, 12,000. You know what I mean? They weren't fucking. A lot of these promotions that claim they're going to take over the world, have all the great ideas and all, big talent and all this and the other, but they just can't draw. When these, you see it all the time now, don't you? You know what I mean? There's fucking fuck knows how many promotions out there claiming to, we're going to change the world, and then on show day they've got 18 people there.
I've been there
every fucking time, right? But these really did do it, and it's hard to get your fathom out because money got away with them, but they could have legitimately been, I think, the next big thing. You know what I mean? If they would have just got over the fucking Crockett thing, I think they could have legit been the next big thing.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah. So yeah, so
the next big thing. There wasn't any worldwide competition back then. They would have been the thing, wouldn't they? Because there was no WWF or fucking WCW and worldwide promotions. Everywhere was regional, wasn't it?
Mm.
So they would have been the thing, not the next big thing. They would have been the big thing.
They would have. So yeah, then during the heat, Don reverses a whip to the corner. So Ivan hits the corner, and then fucking Don runs and gives him a drop kick, basically just right by the corner. But fucking Ivan, he staggers and shit, but he gets back on top of him pretty instantly, like just beats the shit out of him. Then finally hits him with a big backbreaker, then a slam, goes to the top for his finish, the big fucking knee drop from the top rope. 1, 2, 3, and that's the finish. But I enjoyed it. It was really effectively like 95% Ivan, but it was really good. The crowd were loving it, and you can't really, like I say, they're all pretty much squash matches on this episode. But
was Ivan a beast then?
Eh?
Was Ivan a beast? Like fucking big dude, like.
Fair, yeah, he was pretty big, yeah. Yeah, he looked.
Years after the WWF time, but he was massive there, wasn't he? We said when we did him the other day, he kind of with age, didn't he? But he was a big man at one point.
Oh yeah, and after the match, Tex McKenzie, who was on commentary, jumps in the ring because apparently the guy who's wrestling Ivan is he said he was his nephew or something along them lines.
Okay.
So Tex comes in, goes at it with Ivan, and Ivan fucking powders after Tex gets the better of him type situation, and that was the end of that bit. Moving on to match number 2 is Ernie Ladd versus someone, but I don't know who. I've just wrote Dick. I didn't catch the last name, but
Ladd versus Dick. Don't Google it.
But Ladd's outside the ring for quite a while.
Is this when he
He's
was
not
a
even,
king?
eh?
Is this when he was like a king in the crown and shit?
Yeah, yeah,
I've seen bits of him in IWA, and he always had like a crown on.
yeah. I fucking love Ernie Ladd. Like, I fucking love him. Like,
What a
he,
great talker, isn't he?
fucking
Like,
brilliant. Like, just so natural in it. Like, you just, you felt like everything he was saying, you believed. Like, literally, it was like he meant what he said. Like,
yeah.
So he's outside the ring at the start. He's not even dressed to wrestle, Ernie Ladd. He's just in his fucking vest and bottoms and stuff. He's doing a promo about Cowboy Bob Ellis shitting on him, and then he's saying that he's not wrestling tonight. Like a fucking brilliant promo, like really, really good. And he said he's not wrestling. The referee is like Tommy Young, and he's like, you need to get in. He's like, I'll be counting. It's quite funny actually, because Ernie Ladd's got a fucking answer for everything. So the referee's talking, and he's like, I'll count to 10, and you'll be disqualified. You'll lose the match. And Ernie's just like, that's fine. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I'll be the first to congratulate him on his big win. And so I thought it was fucking brilliant, and yeah, it was really, really good. He was just taking the piss. He's like, I ain't wrestling this guy. He's like, who's he ever beat? He's like, he's nobody. Like, and he was basically everything he was saying. It was like, from a fan's point of view, you're thinking, what a twat, like, you know what I mean? But like looking at it, like realistically, it was so fucking clever, like so good. He was just talking shit basically, but he made sense what he was saying. It was brilliant. Finally, he actually does get in the ring on about 7 or something, 6 or 7. He gets in, and then he goes up to him. He's like, he's even saying, "I'll congratulate you" and stuff. He shakes his hand, but then he just starts beating the fuck out of him, and like fucking batters him like all over the place. He does some move on him, then goes for the pin, but picks him up on 2. He's like, "Nah, I'll have some more of that." And then he just batters him all over the place, literally. And then he finishes him with, he's got him kind of like a headlock, and then just shoves his thumb in his throat. Like, so he's got a headlock one arm, then the other arm just comes up with a thumb to the throat, and that's it. That's the finish. 1, 2, 3. It done the job. Like, like I was saying, it was definitely the biggest squash of the lot, but it was just all about Ernie Ladd being a fucking smart ass fucking.
Ladd used to have his tape, his fist, what's it called? His thumb taped quite a lot when he did those things for years. Like Mad Dog fucking loves Ernie Ladd thumb.
Yeah.
To the point that he calls it an Ernie Ladd thumb. So
yeah. But yeah, no, it was enjoyable. I did enjoy it. It was decent. It done the job to what it was doing and that. Then Ernie gets on the mic after and does some more talking, but fucking brilliant talker. Fucking one of the best.
There was no Bob Ellis making the save or anything.
No, there was fuck all there.
I was when you said he was shitting on Bob Ellis. I was thinking, he's going to beat this kid up, and then Bob Ellis is going to show up. But
yeah, I thought that maybe they were fucking. I don't know. Maybe his fucking flight was delayed or something. So fucking they'll catch him down the road or something. But maybe they were building to something later on. I don't know. But there was no show of Bob Ellis there. So we move on to match number 3 now with Cisco Grimaldo.
I like the name.
Yeah, I like the name, but that's about it. Against Mil Mascaras,
right?
Who's the international heavyweight champion. It's all Mil Mascaras, as you can imagine. He's literally
not a Mil Mascaras fan at all. I just don't get him. I don't understand him.
I don't like. I'm not a fan. Like, far from it. I'm thinking like back then he would have been like a fucking rare kind of gimmick, wouldn't he? Especially in America, you wouldn't have had.
Like, to look at pictures of him, you'll think, "Fucking hell, yeah, that's someone we need to see." Do you know what I mean? bright masks and they're fucking well built and, you know, posture fucking second to none, big chest and all that. You think he looks, you know,
like a star.
Entertaining wrestling star. But I've never seen him sell fuck all for anyone except, oh, tell a lie, that match I watched with the Eliminators. When we did the Eliminators, that's the only time I've ever seen him fucking selling anyone.
Yeah.
He just, you know, I find it very hard to watch those. Even squash matches, there's them bits where people sell, isn't there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just brushes everything off, and I find that hard to get my head around.
Yeah. So right. So yeah, they'll start with a tie up. Mill pushes him down. Cisco does like a top wrist lock, but then Mill like just kind of sweeps his leg, so he takes a back bump. They tie up, and Mill puts him in a hammerlock. It's quite a nice little thing. He's got him in the hammerlock, but as he's got him in the hammerlock, he's like lifting right up in the air and back down. And I'm thinking, I don't know how they can do that without snapping his fucking limbs off, because it looks proper. You know what I mean? There's nothing fucking holding him up by his arm, and it's behind your back. Like, how the fuck? I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck you do that, because it's not like he's up and down, like he's jumping himself. He's holding him up there, like with his fucking arm behind his back. So maybe he's just got no fucking option but to wind up, like, you know, but rather him than me. So, yeah, he's working on the arm a bit. There is another little nice spot. As he's in the hammerlock, fucking Cisco turns it into so Mills kind of still got the hammerlock on, but now Cisco's lifted him up and Mills kind of like on his shoulders for like a fireman's carry type thing, but he's kind of still got the arm. So now Cisco does a fucking like a roll, like a forward roll with Mill on his back, but Mill kind of keeps the hammerlock on and then turns it into like a rolling pin on the floor kind of thing, which looked quite nice, to be honest. Yeah, so that looked all right. Got a 2 count on that little pin. Mill's doing a bit of shining, and he does the old, you know, the float over arm drag as you go over, like a right arm drag thing. And then there's a right arm bar by Mill. Then Mill takes the head.
Mexicans can get away with it.
Hey?
The Mexicans can get away with it.
I know. If I do it, I fucking don't know what I'm doing, eh? Fucking Mill does it. So yeah,
The only thing worse than doing it is being in it, because you're like, the fuck do I get out of this?
Yeah. So Mill takes the head, he gets shot off and gives him a tackle. And then like this was quite an interesting fucking little spot. At first I thought, I don't think any of them know what they're fucking doing here, but I think they did. It just kind of looked a bit funny. So Mill takes the head, he gets shot off the ropes, he tackles Cisco. As he hits the ropes, he runs back at Cisco. And then like they're stationary together. So it's like he's gonna tackle him, but none of them are budging. So he's hit the ropes, comes back, and as he's like Cisco's in the middle waiting for him, he fucking just hooks his arms, like both of them, like, you know, like a double underhook, but like both arms. So he's like and then he turns it into like a suplex, like we're both, you know what I mean? Like a belly, like a side, like belly to belly suplex, but with like the arms trapped. It looked all right. It looked a bit odd, but it's just the fact they stood there for like a second or two as he fucking hooked him. But, you know, I don't know, like it looked odd, but it looked kind of neat at the same time. You know, it looked all right. It was a good move. It just looked a bit awkward, I think. But anyway, gives him that for the 2 count. Then he does them 2 fucking flying. I still don't know if they're flying crossbodies, flying forearms, or flying headbutts that Mil Mascaras does, but they're flying something. And he knocks him down a couple of times with it. And then he fucking does the atomic drop. And then he finishes him off with like the variation of the abdominal stretch for the submission. But that's it. I thought it was all right, this match, to be fair. In fact, it was probably one of the better Mil Mascaras matches that I've actually seen. Like, I mean, I didn't mind it at all. It was all right. Probably not as enjoyable as my first two matches, but it was fine. We'll move on to match number 4, which was the weakest one of the lot. This was Mighty Igor, and I do like Mighty Igor, against Bull Zoma. Yeah.
No.
Never heard of him. He didn't look like much to me. I don't know. Like, I don't want to shit on him. He could be fucking great, but from where I was watching it, he wasn't fucking. The match itself wasn't all that good. Like,
I mean, no one compares to Mighty Igor, though, so it don't matter who you're gonna fucking throw in there. He ain't the Polish power.
the crowd seemed a bit flat on this one. They laughed at certain points because Igor's got that fucking comedy thing about him, and a lot of the stuff he was doing, they were laughing, but they didn't see him as into this match they had like the previous 3, or especially the first 2. It was almost like the crowd got quieter, to be fair. Yeah, I reckon they were loudest for the first match and got quieter as the fucking matches went on. That's how it.
Igor, it tends to be over as well, doesn't it?
You
There's
are.
not a lot. Not like I've seen a fair few Mighty Igor matches, and he's always pretty over, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was over and they're into it. It was just like he was. Maybe it might have been because he was on with someone that they didn't fucking know who was or something. I don't know. But, so at the start, Igor does his like strongman thing by squeezing a basketball of all the air out of it, just to show he's fucking, super strong. They do a few tie-ups. They get into a corner and fucking Igor just launches him out the corner. Fucking, he runs at Igor and Igor hits him with like an arm drag, like a fucking shoulder throw, arm drag type thing. Bull takes his head, gets shot off the ropes, runs into Igor, then fucking Bull obviously bumps because Igor's a big dude. Top wrist lock by Bull. But Igor, as he's in the top wrist lock, kind of powers him down. So he's the one fucking showing him the strength rather than the other way around, even though he's in the hold. It's all Igor at this point. He gives him a massive big headbutt, a big backdrop. Bull finally wriggles around and puts him in a waist lock. But then fucking the Mighty Igor gives him like a big butt bump and he fucking goes flying. And then Igor, after the big fucking butt bump, Tommy Young, the referee's there, and he just gives fucking Tommy Young a kiss right there in front of everyone, like he was fucking so, that got one of the biggest reactions of the match, to be fair. I have brought here the crowd's a bit flat, like just compared to the other matches, I think. Bull keeps fighting back, but Igor fucking ain't having any of it. It's almost like fucking Igor's that, like, even though he's the face, it's like the way it's going is, you've got the face that would usually be fighting back, and then it's like the opposite way around here. It's like all the face, but the heel having a few fucking comebacks, but like nothing's happening, kind of thing. And then Igor's grabbing him by his hair and keeps fucking headbutting him, like, as he's got his hair, like, quite heelish, but the crowd are kind of cheering him on a bit. And then he gives him a massive one. Boom, he goes down. Then he hits him with a big fucking, like, bum splash thing, like, up in the air and down he goes. And that's the finish. 1, 2, 3. I put it was okay. It was definitely the weakest match of the lot. I say the weakest one. Like, Ernie Ladd was basically not long at all, but I like match-wise that I enjoyed. I'd say this was the least. But all in all, the fucking brilliant show. I loved it. Absolutely loved it, to be honest. I need to watch some more.
Gosh, I'll send you the link to that one I was watching earlier. It's fucking bowing, like main event kind of matches on. Right, so my episode was episode 4, the one after yours. I like the start of this, the music start thing, because it lists the wrestlers at the start, doesn't it? Did you get that on
Yeah,
yours?
I was gonna point that out as well. I like that because that's what basically WWF done years later.
Yeah. Like the only downfall I see with that is that people think those people are on this episode, but that's just me nitpicking.
Actually, no, you are fucking right because when they were coming up on my screen, and I'm thinking this fucking episode's like 32 minutes. I'm thinking that's a fucking lot of matches in 32 minutes if they're all on it. But you know,
Yeah, but like those are on the start of each one of the videos I've got, so it's a standard start, so it seems. Anyway, I wrote up
right.
Adam Parsons and Mass Superstar again, introducing this one. It's tag team week apparently for the IWA, and we're away with the best of IWA's tag teams. Match number one, they announced it as an Australian tag team match. Now I've heard this for many years. Gordon Soley always used to call it Australian tag team matches. It's a tag match, but the Australia, I think it's really cool because, especially here, because it adds that international feel again. It's just a tag, but I don't know what the history of it being called Australian tag match is. I know the Mexicans have some sort of Australian kind of thing, but that's a 6-man tag. I'm not totally 100% on that. I googled the history of tag team wrestling to see if it sort of started in Australia or what, but it says the first recorded tag match was in 1901 in San Francisco. Fuck all to do with Australia. Anyway, match number one is Mike Wayne and Dr. Beach versus Reginald and Hartford, the Love Brothers, with their manager Al Costello, who just happens to be Australian. Speaking of Australian tag matches. Now, I don't know Mike Wayne or Dr. Beach, but this Dr. Beach was fucking amazing. I Googled him. Let me tell you about Dr. Beach. He was also known as Bad News Jackson and Willie Jackson. He was from Memphis. He wrestled 72 to 75, so not long. But he wrestled for the NWA promotions in Texas, Florida, Michigan, Canada. And he tagged with Dick Slater in his later days. But he was really fucking good. Another beauty, we say this all the time. Good thing about doing these things is we see stuff we've never seen. And Dr. Beach is fucking cracking. Right, the Love Brothers jump the other two dudes. Dr. Beach goes out and they double team Martin Wayne. Costello with a boomerang on the floor to Dr. Beach. Dr. Beach is monged. Mike Wayne, not Martin Wayne, Mike Wayne is in with Hartford. Hartford Love just chops the fuck out of Mike Wayne like several times, like 6 slams in a row and a knee drop that could have well taken his throat out. There's like a double lift thing on the ice. Really hard to explain. I've never seen anything before or since. Like both the Love Brothers are in, and they like both lift him up by the arm, like an arm each for like a bump, and it's really cool, but really hard at the same time. I'll have to kind of rewatch it to see exactly how it went, but it was quite a fast-paced match. This Dr. Beach keeps trying to get in, but the referee keeps trying to put him out, so that leaves more double teaming for the Love Brothers. Reginald loves like smothering Mike Wayne then away from the referee. Really, good thing. And the camera shots, like, because there's several cameras, which is again revolutionary in it. Keeps an eye on all the action. There's a double slam from the Love Brothers, hanging over the over the bottom rope. Sorry, Costello comes along and does the choking again. Oh, this was cool. Again, it's a tiny thing, but I love the little things. One of the Love Brothers, forget which one, kind of picks this Mike Wayne up. Well, it doesn't even pick him up. He like has him by the arm and then back of the head, and just goes into the middle rope. So he just goes, you know what I mean, across.
All right, yeah.
You know what I mean? How often do you see that? But it's different, isn't it? Mike Wayne then thrown out the ring. Al Costello's after him, but Dr. Beach comes round here. Fuck you, Al Costello. He saves the day there. A very young Tommy Young looks fucking. You wouldn't even know it's Tommy Young from the NWA. Such a longer hair and baby face. So Mike Wayne has done fuck all until this point, but he fires up a bit, gets the tag. In comes Dr. Beach. He's nailing everybody. Al Costello's on the apron. He clocks him as well. Reginald Love cuts him off. Just as he's about to nail Hartford Love. Dr. Beach does a great job of like feeding to Al Costello, like he knows where to be. I think sometimes wrestlers move too much. You know what I mean? Like, I was always taught to get up at the feet of the villain so the villain doesn't have to move. Do you know what I mean? And for the manager, you feed to them. You know, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Nobody has to move. If the manager's moving all the way around the ring, it's too fucking obvious, isn't it? You know, and this dude, Dr. Beach, does a right good job of, you know, bumping and rolling into the right position and making it look natural. Beach fires up again, headbutt, and then he misses a drop kick. Then there's quick tags from the Love Brothers, slamming an elbow, and the finish is a big elbow off the ropes from one of the Love Brothers. Al Costello's in then, just beating the shit out of Mike Wayne with the boomerang, and he leaves both of them pretty much for dead. Yeah, very entertaining. Kind of some different stuff in there. The Love Brothers, really cool. Match 2, another Australian tag match. And once again, Dr. Beach, because these aren't all from the same show. These are just like, you know, different tag matches from different IWA shows. Dr. Beach again. This time he's tagging with someone called Rujette Woods, who is a big fucking dude, like fucking ginormous man. And they're against the 567-pound tag team champions, Bolo and Guido, the Mongols, with George Crybaby Cannon, the manager. Fabulous, from Croatia, don't you know? Bolo is Nikolai, isn't it? Exactly the same body shape as.
I always get them mixed up. These fucking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure going by the like from the neck down. You can't tell from the face, in all fairness, but from the neck down, it's that same fucking barrel chest of Ivan Nikolai's. Anyway, so hang on, I'm just trying to work out what I put the initials for each thing, and I'm trying to work out who the fuck's who. Right, okay. So the manager, George Cannon, nails Dr. Beach even before the match starts with some kind of fucking. It's like he's got like a bit of leather or something in his hand. Fuck knows what it is. Smack to Dr. Beach. That Rujette Woods is a former boxer, apparently, according to the commentary. Tex McKenzie and the other fella. Dr. Beach, he's very Thunderbolt Patterson in this, you know, doing the fucking dancing and, you know. Right. I'm surprised the Mongols sort of backed off as much as they did with the gimmick they had. But, you know, this Dr. Beach clearly over, and they were like, you know, fucking begging off a little bit. Proper good strikes from the Mongol team, you know, proper fucking believable shizzle. Dr. Beach is in all kinds of shit in the early part of the match, right? He fires up. In comes Rujette Woods, fucking beast of a man. Guido takes to Bolo. Bolo kicks the fuck out of him then. Like, even though he's a big man, he don't get fuck all in. There's a double shoulder block from the Mongol team. Shitload of stomps, like a leg split thing. But the Mongols let him get too close to the corner. It's not like a hot tag as such, he just gets too close to the corner. In comes Dr. Beach on Guido. Bolo from behind cuts him off, little fucking rabbit punch just from the apron. There's a kick from the middle rope, it's like half a knee, half a kick. It was very hard to describe. It just kind of landed on him. Fuck knows what happened really. The finish was simply a stomp to the head from Bolo, but let's be fair, anyone gets stomped in the head, they ain't getting up in 3 seconds, are they?
Well, yeah.
You know, it's a fucking finish where I come from. After the match, there's an attack again from the villains. and out comes Gino Bravo and Dino Bravo to make the save, the babyface team of choice in the IWA. And then the third tag match, the final one, another Australian tag team match. The Great Goliath, another fucking hell of a beast of a man, fucking big hair and a leather belt on, and Buddy Porter, who in the introduction to it, Billy he puts over as being a promoter in the area and in the Carolinas as well, and somebody that he respected and knew. Versus Gino Bravo and Dino Bravo, known as the Italian Connection. So international touch again, isn't it? So Gino and Great Goliath start. Goliath just shoves him off because he's a fuck. Size of these fuckers. Then Gino goes behind, tries to take him down, but Goliath goes to the ropes. Goliath misses a fist in the corner and ends up hitting the buckle. And then there's an instant replay of that. Let's see that again. Taking full, like, much as instant replays at this time were revolutionary, fuck me, they overused them in this match. It must have been like the first week they had them. It's like, let's have a replay. So they like show it in the thing, and then a bit later on, it's there was a hair pull, and it's like, let's see that again. Like there must have been fucking 12 replays in this.
It's like fucking a game for the fucking Nintendo 64, an old WCW game, and if you had instant replays on, every time you hit a fucking move, it would fucking show you it again, and you're there trying to play the bastard game. So you have to always remember to turn like instant replays off because you're playing the fucker. Suplex, it's like fucking replay. You're like, for fuck's sake.
Anything happened that was anything, they'll replay it. Somebody in the crowd just winked. Let's see that again. But I don't blame them. It's new, isn't it? Why would you use your new toy, wouldn't you? Right. So Gino now behind bow and arrows the arms of Great Goliath. Bear in mind, Great Goliath is twice as tall as Gino Bravo. Dino in on the arm for a little bit. Dino takes him down, but Gino's fucking straight back up. He ain't having none of that shit. Goliath tags in, but Buddy Porter doesn't actually come in, which I thought was odd. He legit tags him, and Buddy Porter's just like, nah. That was a bear hug from behind on Great Goliath. Even the commentator's like, he's tagged. Why is he not getting in? There's a bear hug from behind by Great Goliath, but Dino soon gets out of that. Strong boy, isn't he? He hammerlocks him and then takes his head. Then Great Goliath just literally picks up Dino Bravo and just kind of dumps him. He's like, fuck off. Bravo rolls him up. Replay. Let's have a look at that again. Great Goliath ain't keen on bumping, let me tell you, or even staggering, to be fair. He's always like, if he's bumped or attacked in any way, center ring or the other way, he'll find the ropes. Don't worry about that. He'll find them ropes. Every fucking time, always on the ropes. Buddy's finally in now, Buddy Porter. In he comes. He's punching and kicking. But he soon gets clocked as he comes off the ropes. Buddy Porter with an headlock and a bit of a sneaky choke here, there, and everywhere. Dino Bravo in with head scissors. Very even match, this. Then Gino's back in. Bit of dirty stuff from the babyface team now is like payback to Buddy Porter, who's been, thumbing in the throat a lot. Dino keeps fucking clocking him on the apron and stuff just to, it's payback, innit? There's a great like face lock from Dino Bravo, and he takes him over with it. That was pretty cool. A double belly shot off the ropes from the babyface team, and the finish, Buddy Porter on the shoulders, aeroplane spin from Dino Bravo, and then a pin. It goes back to the hosts after the matches, and a fine point from Bill Eadie saying moves like the aeroplane spin and probably 80% of the moves we've seen on this show are totally forgotten about, yet more effective than any dive that will ever be done. You know what I mean? in fairness, if somebody dives at you from the top rope, you just move out of the way, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? You've got all that time to see him, and it don't seem like a lot, but there's plenty of time just to take a step to the left, isn't there? You know what I mean? Whereas if you're on the shoulders and you're getting spun round, you're going to be pretty discombobulated. I know what I'd rather do in an actual fight. I'd rather spin some gun round than dive on him from 80 foot high. You know, but he lists a whole bunch of moves that aren't seen anymore. You know, and it's right. And he said there's no reason why they're not seen. You know, why are they not seen as cool anymore? And it's fucking totally accepted. If you did them now, they would be cool because no fucker had seen them. Like
That's the thing,
if you
yeah.
do an aeroplane spin now, people are like, "Fuck no, we've never seen that before." Greatest thing in the world. But it just depends who's doing it, I suppose, as well. If fucking Randy Orton does it, it'd be the greatest thing ever, wouldn't it? But you know, if someone of lesser quality or less known, it'd be like, look at this twat doing things from 1975. It is what it is, isn't it? Fickle fuckers, aren't they, wrestling people? Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, like I carried on watching it because it was that enjoyable. I did like another hour and a half or so. I still ain't finished that big block that I said about. Friday, we're doing your tag pick of the demolition.
Yeah,
which I'm looking forward to because we do like some demolition.
we do.
Then Monday, George South on the singles because I've worked out that I've only got 3 picks left, through one of each section. So I wanted to do like my heroes. So George South is Monday. Your show pick for Wednesday. You texted me yesterday with some fucking promotion that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah. I think Google fucking lied to me on that one, fucking, because I can't find fuck all about them. So, we're not gonna go with that one because they probably never had fucking film crews there. So, there's probably no footage of anything that ever existed from them. So, we're gonna go with a different approach. Now, I have something in the back of my mind in case we have done this promotion, but I'm 99% sure we haven't. So what I have chose is I've chose the World Wrestling Council from Puerto Rico. Is that it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've watched some stuff from Puerto Rico, but we've never watched a whole show. So we might see like matches and stuff from there, but not an actual show. So that's what we'll go with.
There's some in English commentary as well. And
All right.
I think the English versions are called like Caribbean Superstars of Wrestling or Caribbean Wrestling, WWC. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot on YouTube, full episodes.
And they've had some fucking huge stars there as well. Like everyone's been to Puerto Rico, so
those anniversary shows they have each year were very often sort of friendly with the WWF. So they'll have, your demolition types, and I know Zeus has been there, and Ronnie Garvin, and fucking literally everybody. Like I said, fucking it's a proper who's who at wrestling. Rough as fuck though, but yeah, I enjoy that. Good choice, good pick. Demolition Friday, George South Monday, and off to Puerto Rico we go on Wednesday. We'll see you Friday for some tag team action. Buy me some demolition.